Chapter 6. The End is Here. Jack threw open the door to the room of scrolls. He and Annie rushed in and ran over to the shelves. Jack pulled out the piece of paper with a Latin title on it. Vir fortissimus in mundo. Okay, he said, we have to find the scroll with this title. They began frantically unrolling scrolls, one by one. They were all handwritten in Latin. Here it is, said Annie. She held up a scroll. The words at the top matched the one on their paper. Yay, said Jack. I wish I could read Latin so we could find out what the story is. Don't think about it now, said Annie. Let's go. Annie handed the scroll to Jack, then started out of the room. Come on, she said. Bring it. I just want to check and see what the story's about, said Jack. He put the scroll in the leather bag. Then he flipped through the book on Roman times, looking for a picture of the ancient scroll. In the middle of the book, he found a picture of a volcano erupting over a town. Under the picture was written, For 800 years, Mount Vesuvius was a peaceful mountain, rising above the town of Pompeii. Then at noon, on August 24th AD 79, it erupted into a deadly volcano. Oh, no, whispered Jack. August 24th, AD 79? That's today. Oh, man, what time is it? He looked around wildly. Annie! She was gone again. Annie! Jack grabbed the leather bag. Then, clutching the book, he tore out of the scroll room. Annie! He cried. What? Annie appeared at the door to the dining room. Volcano, stuttered Jack. What? Said Annie. It's coming, a volcano at noon, said Jack. Annie gasped. What time is it? Cried Jack. So that's what the soothsayer meant, Annie said. The end is near. What time is it? Jack asked again. He looked around the garden. He saw something near the mermaid fountain. A sundial, he said. That's how the Romans told time. Jack and Annie raced to the sundial. What time does it say? Said Annie. I don't know, said Jack. His hands shook as he turned the pages of the book. He stopped on a picture of a sundial. It showed examples of different times. Jack looked back and forth from the page to the real sundial in the garden. Here, he said. He had found the one that matched. Jack read the writing under the picture. The shadow on the sundial can hardly be seen at noon. Oh, man, he whispered. He looked at Annie. The end isn't near. The end is here. Just then he heard a terrible blast. It was the loudest sound he had ever heard.
ㅣ매직트리하우스 Book 13 Vacation Under the Volcano Chapter 6. Throw open. Jack threw open the door to the room of scrolls. Rush in. Run over. He and Annie rushed in and ran over to the shelves. One by one, they began frantically unrolling scrolls one by one. Hold up. She held up a scroll. It erupted into a deadly volcano. Tear out of. He tore out of the scroll room. Race to. Jack and Annie raced to the sundial. It's now or never.